Hello, good evening, Oral Gibbs, and welcome to Speaking of Everything. With us this evening, we have none other than the one and only, the Honorable Mr. Gumbs.
Oh boy, you're killing me
How you
tonight.
doing, huh?
I'm doing fine, but thanks again for having me on your program. And always willing to inform the people of St. Martin because I take that as a serious duty, and I'm very serious with that.
All right, so it's good to have you here this evening because a few days ago, a little over a week ago, I was at the Parliament building. The first time I ever been there, by the way.
Yeah, I met you there, yes. We sat there
Right.
together. Yeah.
And I was sitting there, and then they called on you again.
Yeah.
So now it's different. Now, the first time, they kind of belittled you by calling you man off the street.
Picked off the street.
Right, but not anymore.
No, now I was picked out of the tribune. but I have this popular name, Straatgriffier. I don't know what they mean by that, but William Marlin refers to it quite often, and he said, that's the man's job, Straatgriffier. Let me explain something. Straatgriffier is not a paid job. I don't get a cent for whatever I do. I do it because I am a parliamentarian Democrat, and I believe in Parliament. I believe in a well-functioning of Parliament. And when a majority in Parliament asks me to do something that is honorable and something that does not breach the law, I'm always willing to help Parliament. I don't look at the parties, I look at the majority. If the majority of Parliament asks me to do something, I'm always willing to think about it.
Is it safe to say you're now even because the first time it was a different group?
Well, it proves one thing that I am not biased. I do whatever I believe I have to do. And as I said, it's not about the parties because I am just instrumental. The parties have to make their own choices and they keep their meeting and they make their decision. And the only thing I do is I take notes of that.
Let me roll the video that I took of that day in Parliament. It was the 15th of October, right?
Lately, yeah, recently.
15th of October.
Yes.
Let's roll that day. All right.
Continue these deliberations. We will need to have someone to record this meeting, and therefore, I'm indulging the members of Parliament in lieu of Article 95 of the Rules of Order in order to request Mr. Ed Gumbs to take the minutes of this meeting. Mr. Edwin Gumbs.
Approve.
Thank you.
Approve.
Are there any notifications?
So that was you there.
Yeah.
And it was a very special session of Parliament.
Yes. It was, they needed the chairperson of Parliament and the deputy first chair, of the first deputy chair and the second deputy chair. They all three of them had sent in their resignation for those positions. And now Parliament needed to choose a new chairperson and two deputies. But for one reason or the other, the people of the Griffie weren't working, I think because of overtime, of whatever. They didn't have the assistance of the Griffie. That's why they asked on me to take the notes.
All right, so that's now 2 times in 2 years.
Yes, and I'm not planning to make it a hobby of doing that. But again, you see, there is a particular article in the Code of Order of Parliament, that's Article 96, in which they can decide to hold a meeting out of the normal boundaries, and they can invite a third person to take notes. So that's what they did.
So How many years now since you've been on the island?
I came back in January 2011. I will never forget that. The 29th of January, I was back on St. Martin.
It seems like a long time, right?
I don't know if it's a long time, 2011. That's.
Seems like you've been around forever, man.
I've never been away. You know, I have the ability of getting accustomed very quickly and to making very quickly acquaintance. But it's because of my well-meant and deeply felt responsibility. I like politics. Politics govern our lives. So you have to be aware of that. And if I can contribute, I contribute.
Well, when you look at the way things are going in St. Martin today, are you surprised?
Not really, you know. St. Martin is, in the sense, a new country. In 2009, let me put it, 2009, we had a common enemy. We so badly wanted to get out from under Curaçao. So everything was, you know, was pointing to Curaçao as being the bad guy. And we met each other on the island, and we had big understanding that, yes, we have to become independent. We have to go do it ourselves. We have to stand on our own two legs. And we fought for that. And I must say, I said it a couple of times before, and I'll repeat it. I believe that William Marlin, in a short tenure that he had in that year, managed to convince the Dutch that St. Martin would be ready for 10-10-10, because there were serious doubt in 2009 whether we should get the status of country. And I believe William Marlin, together with his group, consisting of the governor, Dr. Anders Eugene Holliday, the Minister of Justice, Dennis Richardson, as two known persons, was part of that group that helped convince the Dutch that St. Martin would be ready for 10-10-10. And we got it. But then, we became a country. We didn't have that common enemy no more, Curaçao. Now we had to do it on our own.
And we became our biggest enemy.
Yeah, because we didn't have the institutions. We had to do so many things, and you know, it's what Curaçao left back for us was what Curaçao self couldn't use no more, and we had to do it with that. Take our police force, for instance, and I don't mean it on a negative way, but it had to be built up completely because there was no St. Martin police force, so that had to be built up, and.
But everything had to be built up.
Yeah, that takes time. So if I was planning to hold a program, to make a program on 5 years, 10-10-10, what have we achieved in those 5 years? I think that we have made steps forwards. Minor steps, but we did make them. But we're far from being where we have to be. There is so much more to be done. And what you see happening in politics, that people are uncertain and they're not certain, they're not convinced of their primer dedication. They start out with party A, and after a while, they say, no, this isn't it. And they go with another party, or they go on themselves, independent. That's part of the growing pains.
So you think all politicians are too fickle?
Too?
Fickle?
I think they have a lot of problem in finding their role, because they were accustomed, our politicians were accustomed, from the times and from the days of Claude Watty would tell them what to do, and they just have to execute. Now we are in a situation that we ourselves have to think. We have to develop legislation, we have to develop the country, and we have our own role to play in there as politicians. And lots of our politicians isn't that far. And when I say isn't so far, I'm talking about, let's say, the older generations of politicians that's not accustomed of carrying their own responsibility. There was always a custom that it was said, and they did. Yeah, today are having a little bit of difficulty with that role.
But what you said, because they're more young politicians.
They are more young, but you have Emmanuel as a young man, you have Leona Marlin, you have Tamara Leonard, and you have Sylvia Jacobs. But I think, Van Huge, Cornelis de Weaver as a youngster. Maybe you can call Frankie Meyer a younger one too, but that's about it. But most of them are
Franz
Richardson.
Same age as Frankie Meyer. So.
Yeah, but he's been around for quite a while now.
So when you say young, even
No, I'm not only talking about age, but I'm talking young in political sense, and with young ambitions also.
But you can't put Frankie Myers in that. He's matured quite a bit. It's quite incredible. I have to say, I've seen him mature over the years and seen him handle himself in interviews, even here with me, and he's come a long way.
Yes, you know what I like of Frankie Myers? He make wide references. He quotes a lot of people, and I even believe that he means it.
I
believe that he means it, but
okay.
Most of the time he just can't say the truth. I mean to say, take the whole Integrity Commission. What Frankie Meyer said, that will never happen. He will never approve it.
Yeah.
And ultimately, he did approve it. And there's nothing with developing insights, but it is the way you bring it, and you quote so much big people, and then to end up that you still go along with it. That I think you have to be more cautious about that, because it's easy to quote big people, but it's difficult to stand in the shadows.
Yeah, that's why it's not good to quote people.
I don't know. I'll quote myself.
I quote dead philosophers.
No, you know, Malcolm X, today I was reading something. Malcolm X said, wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or who says it. And there's a truth in that. Wrong is wrong. And you have to be aware of that. But what I see, often it happens on St. Martin that we try to make something that's wrong, make it look good. We try to defend it. We try to say, we try to argument it that why it should be done that way and that way. And we always end up saying, but this is St. Martin. No, I say no. St. Martin should develop itself. We cannot say this is St. Martin and we do it on our way. No, we do it on the right way, because wrong is wrong.
I'm Roll Gibbs here with Mr. Edwin Gumbs. Mr. Gumbs is also host of a program on PGD2 Radio, and that's a conversation with
Edwin Gumbs,
right?
Every Tuesday night on PGD2 from 9 to 10,
and
102.7.
And
tune in.
All right, and we're here to speak with him about his experiences in the last few years at St. Martin in terms of politics, etc. You know, but when you look at the well-seasoned politicians like Mrs. Westcott, Mr. Halliger, Mr. Williams, Mr. Marlin, I don't know if I left out anyone there, but I think it's quite interesting to see that at the stage we are right now in St. Martin today, we're going to need these politicians for some time to come still.
I don't know. We have a new breed of politicians in Parliament, but they all are hampered with one thing. Most of them want to be business people. They want to run a business. They want to build a business. And I say, well, if you want to build a business, you can't be in Parliament. Build your business. But if you want to be in Parliament, it's to build country St. Martin. And that's two different things.
But isn't a country like a business too, that you have to make the right decision?
Of course, yes. But normally, how does it go normally? Normally, you have business and you have politicians. And politicians ask businessmen for their support or for the sponsorship, and the businessman say, what can you do for me? What are your plans? And they reach to some kind of agreement, and the politician goes into politics and does politics. The businessman self will not go into politics because he's too busy developing his business. So I'm going to tell our young politicians who have business ambition, make up your mind. Build your business, so be busy with your business, or build your country. That's just simple choice.
So you're saying you can't do both?
No. You cannot develop your business being a parliamentarian, because you will always get yourself trapped in some kind of a interest of conflict, conflict of interest.
But then you will be looking for, you have to be either a very wealthy person or a civil servant if you want to go into politics, based on what you're saying, because if you're a business person, you can't go. And the only people that are going right now are basically, most of them are civil servants. And that's a danger.
That's always the history of politicians. If you look good through the whole world, most politicians come out of the education field, or some come out of the small business field, and they make the switch to go into politics. And a large amount comes out of the public service, because being public servant, they are accustomed to the way politics goes, and that's their job, and they try to switch it instead of being a public servant to be at the range of what politics does.
But you know, what I've experienced, and this is in no way trying to put down anyone, that people that go into politics from the civil service don't have a good idea of business, and sometimes that is crucial. Now,
the lacking of business experience does break them up, because a country has more business, it's built on business. The public servant is there to accommodate the business. But a lot of public servants believe that it's about them, that they rule the country, that the country cannot reign without them. But they're just an expense post, because they don't generate money. Public servants do not generate money. They move it around from A to B to C and D, but they do not generate money. Money is generated out of the economy, that's its business.
No, having said that,
yes, sir.
Are you concerned seeing that, and I said this to one of the members of parliament the other night, that since, in fact, Mr. Halliger, since 1995, the government of St. Martin has become the largest employer. That poses quite some risk down the road, don't it?
You need a government apparatus. Whether it should become the biggest employer, I don't know. But for instance, I am a supervisory board director at GB, GEBE, and we are one of the largest employers of the country. But it's a government-owned business. So if you count them as being government, then you can say that.
Because in fact, what we're saying here is that all the government-owned companies make up some 40% of the GDP of St. Martin. When you put the civil service, everyone combined, it's a huge employment agency in a way, and sometimes employing people who are not even capable to do the work.
Yeah. But again, you have to make a distinction between public servants and public servants. The people of GB produce electricity, and it is sold to the people of St. Martin. So they make a product, and the people of St. Martin buy it. Telem provides a service. People buy it.
But I'm not happy with Telem service.
Apart that you're not happy with it, but
and a lot of people are not happy.
One of those people is my person. I am not happy with the performance of Telem, but that's what we have. So we have to make it better. There's where you have to put pressure on government to see to it that its company delivers a good product, a payable product, a reliable product, and a good product.
See, there was a time when GBE was in the same boat with Taylor, but not anymore. I've seen a remarkable change at GBE. Professional in terms of how they deal with a lot of issues and problems. And I think that is what we need to see in government-owned companies, where they can make that change to really provide consistent service. And I don't see that at Taylor. So that's why I don't want to put down Taylor. I'm just saying what I see.
We at GB, we were blessed of having the biggest captain of industry of St. Martin at its rims. I am talking about deceased Julius Lambert.
Oh, he was a remarkable man.
Julius Lambert made GB what GB is today. And it is because of Julius Lambert that was putting so much effort in getting GB as a company, a reliable company, and keeping politics out of GB.
Right.
But other government-owned companies didn't have that blessing, didn't have that luck.
Yeah.
And politics became, and Taylor is a living proof of what politics can do to a government company.
But I won't go that far.
But you're asking me, so I'm giving you my opinion. And it's not putting down any person, but it's telling you when you don't manage in keeping politics out of the company, because then you have politics. Politics is about getting the votes and about giving people jobs, having people on a paid job out there.
Yeah, I see your
point. And while running a company is asking yourself, what do I need? What type of person do I need? Where can I put a person in?
Look for the best qualified person. Right.
And to build up the company. And again, let me say it again, Julius Lambert, God have his soul, is the man that built it. And I am trying to start a Julius Lambert scholarship in which I find that GEBE should give 5 youngsters, young men on St. Martin, an opportunity to go to the university, technical university, and prepare themselves for management function on the island by GEBE, because we don't have them at the moment.
Time is going so fast. I'm here speaking with Mr. Edwin Gumbs. And so I like the idea you mentioned about that scholarship to the late Mr. Engineer Julius Lambert, because he was really a remarkable man.
Yeah, he is a remarkable man. Yeah. And again, I haven't discussed this thoroughly in the board, the supervisory board of directors, but it is an idea that seeing the situation as things are going now at this moment, that we have so much problem in getting local people on a managerial level for GB, I think we should start thinking of that scholarship. And I promise you, viewers, that I am going to do my best to get that scholarship, because I believe St. Martin deserves it, and we need them.
Oh yeah, definitely. And a scholarship in honor of Mr. Lambert.
Engineer Julius Lambert Scholarship.
Yeah, definitely. So, now, Mr. Gumbs, seeing that, I mean, you've been running government for the last year now. All the Gumbs have been running government. 2 Gumbs ministers. You all took over the government?
Not meaning I don't run government. I don't know whether Mr. Marcel Gumbs is very pleased with me, but I must say that, you know, what happened recently never had happened. And I really, really regret seeing that, experiencing that, because it was not necessary.
Yeah. Well, at least we had the opportunity to meet with you again and having you again for a second time in Parliament, taking the minutes.
Well, you know, again, if a majority in Parliament asks me to do a decent job, I'm always willing to do that.
All right. So again, when they can see you on the radio again?
You can't see me on the radio, you can hear me on the radio, and that will be Tuesday night, At 9 o'clock, PGD2, 102.7, A Conversation with Edwin Gumbs.
Well, thanks for being my guest this evening. Thanks for accepting the invitation. But when I used the word see you on the ridge, I was just kidding. All right?
You can hear me, don't worry.
All right, good. Again, thanks.
You're welcome, sir.
And that's it for now. See you next time. Till then, good night. Take care. Bye.